here's where we had a transmission leak. I guess you don't need to buy a gasket. You just put 3 times the amount of goop as you would spend on a gasket in your pan. Fortunately, it all stuck to this and it didn't stick to the actual transmission. So we'll get this fixed and put it back together. Well, here's what I think is our problem with our temp gauge. It reads accurate most of the time and then it just doesn't. Sometimes it's a little off, sometimes it's like a lot off. And I think the problem is that it's using the block for ground, and you got to have something like Teflon tape or pipe goop in here to keep this from leaking, and that screws up your ground. So to fix it, we're going with this guy here, and of course the gauge to go along with it. But this sensor has a dedicated ground that we can run back over to that screw on the firewall. We'll clean that ground up and use that for our temp gauge ground, and hopefully that fixes our intermittent bad temperature readings. That makes me think we're overheating when we're actually not. All right, I think we got most of our bugs worked out. So I had a shroud on here at one time. I got rid of it because it was just being a pain in the butt, not fitting right, hitting the fan at certain times, making noise, so we got rid of it. We did install an electric fan though, that just runs off with the ignition. So hopefully that is enough. I really don't think it was overheating, and now I'm even kind of questioning how much was actually overheating at the very beginning because of our temp gauge having a bad ground. So we got that fixed as well. We have a new gauge, a new sensor for that. We found our clunk. Maddox and I got that fixed. It's where the track bar mounts to the axle. The factory hole for the bolt that holds the track bar in, the hole diameter was bigger than the bolt, and the bolt couldn't get any bigger because of the bushing inside the track bar. So what we did is we took some washers that were just perfect size for that and we welded them on. That got rid of it. And I think the only other one that we know of is the transfer case. So maybe this week we'll get that transfer case replaced. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I think we fixed our low oil pressure problem as well. I did a couple things. I replaced the oil pump, and part of that was just because I have no idea the history of it. The other part is that when it got warm and I got low oil pressure, then I didn't know if it was a pump or what. So I just decided to change it. Also at the same time, I switched the type of oil. I went to a 2050. A lot of the forums kind of say to use a 2050 in these 2.8s because they all tend to run with a low oil pressure anyways. And it actually worked. We got our oil pressure back up now. So I don't know if it was the 2050 weight or changing out the oil pump, but we seem to have good oil pressure now. Here's a quick walk around of some of our final touches on this thing. You know, next to the hood scoop, this is probably the most important modification. There is some nice cup holders. In our glove box, we have some wet wipes, always need on trail, our winch controller, our spare stub shaft in case we break a stub shaft on the front axle, which does happen. You need these to keep your wheel on, and a breaker bar that's too big to fit in the toolbox. I'll show you here in just a second. That's what's in there. Come to the back, we just have fancy bungee cords here holding in our water, tea, Dr. Pepper. This one holds our food. Come on back to the back side. We've got this is essential tools. This thing is screwed to the floor in our pouch pocket storage area here. I've got ball joints, U-joints, and a spare front wheel hub unit bearing. This is our seat, little jump seat. Liquid nails glued down. We got one there for going little kid facing that way, and one there for a person to sit there. In our storage bin on this side, we have more soft shackles and filters. So oil filter and spare fuel filters, because we've got multiple different kinds of fuel filters in this thing. So filters. Coming around to this side, this is our ball joint press. And then I've got, if you can tell, I've got up here a Yankum rope wrapped around the roll bar with another soft shackle. So that's pretty much how we're outfitted. in this thing and how I intend to run it to the Beast Wars. Pretty self-sufficient and pretty well tucked in there, pretty light.